She claimed she needed space to focus on work and was staying with family, until her webcam flickered on and revealed a bedroom I'd never seen, and a man who definitely wasn't her brother-in-law. I'll be honest, if you'd asked me 6 months ago whether my wife Maya would ever cheat on me, I would have laughed in your face. Like, full-on, stupid belly laugh. We were the couple everyone said looked too stable to fail. We had our routines, our shared playlists, our stupid inside jokes. We fought sometimes, sure, but in that normal married people banging pots in the kitchen way. But over the past few weeks, something started to shift. It was little things at first. Maya kept talking about needing space to focus on work, which was strange because she was fully remote and usually worked from our living room wearing oversized hoodies and drinking iced coffee like it was holy water. Then she started getting really defensive about her schedule. Anytime I asked what she was doing or who she was talking to, she snapped with that sharp tone she uses when she's lying but thinks she sounds confident. Then came the trip. Her sister lives 3 hours away, and Maya claimed she wanted to go there for a week because the apartment was too distracting. Which was wild, because her sister has 3 kids and a golden retriever that screams emotionally instead of barking. But Maya said she had deadlines and deliverables and meetings that require quiet. Right, quiet. With 3 kids and a dog. I didn't push. I wanted to trust her. I did trust her. But even as she packed her suitcase, way too many outfits for a work week. By the way, I had that weird cold feeling in my stomach. The kind where you know something is wrong, but can't figure out which puzzle piece doesn't fit yet. Still, when she kissed my cheek and said, "Try not to bother me unless it's important. I need focus," I forced a smile. And for a while, I convinced myself everything was fine. But that's the thing about lies. They always start off quiet, until they glitch into something you can't ignore. And for me, that glitch was a webcam light. 3 days into her work retreat, I was actually starting to relax a little. Maya texted me here and there, mostly dry updates. Busy day. On calls all afternoon. Kids are loud, trying to focus. Short, cold, clipped, but not completely unusual for her when she's stressed. Then Thursday morning hit. I work in IT, which means I sometimes help Maya when her company's software freaks out. She's always been terrible with VPN connections and password resets. So months ago, I set up a remote login profile on her laptop for quick fixes. I hadn't used it in ages. But that day, I got a message from her. Zoom keeps crashing. Can you look at it later? No, please. No, thanks. Just a demand, like I was her tech intern. Fine. She said she'd be in a 3-hour meeting and needed things working after. Easy enough. I figured I'd hop in, run diagnostics, clear cache, whatever. But when I logged in, her Zoom app was already open. And worse, her webcam light was on. Except Maya had told me she wasn't in a meeting yet, and the screen wasn't showing her face. It was tucked off to the side because she'd minimized herself. I hovered the cursor over the tiny preview box and maximized it. And that's when the world went silent. This wasn't her sister's guest room. Not even close. Behind her, lying in bed like he owned the place, was a shirtless guy, scrolling on his phone like this was just a normal Thursday morning. And Maya? She was sitting at a desk I'd never seen before, hair done way nicer than it ever is for actual work, giggling at something he said off camera, then clearing her throat and switching into her fake professional voice whenever someone on the call spoke. I felt frozen. My brain couldn't process what my eyes were telling me. She wasn't working remotely. She wasn't at her sister's house. She wasn't stressed. She wasn't overwhelmed. She was shacked up with some half-naked dude while telling her coworkers she was multitasking childcare in a chaotic home. She even muted herself at one point, turned around, and mouthed something to the guy. He smirked and tossed a pillow at her, and the webcam caught all of it. The betrayal didn't hit like a punch. It hit like gravity disappearing, like the world tilted, and I was suddenly falling sideways. I sat there staring at the screen with my hands shaking, realizing that this was the moment people talk about. The moment your life splits into before and after. And I had no idea what came next. I don't know how long I sat there, just staring at the screen. Long enough for my coffee to go cold. Long enough for Maya to adjust her camera twice, and for shirtless background guy to get up, walk across the room, and rummage through what looked like his dresser. Not her sister's. Not even close. My shock eventually hardened into something sharper. Something steady. Instinct kicked in. I hit record. Zoom has a built-in local recording feature, and since I was logged in through her laptop, it didn't even notify her. One click and everything she did, every smirk, every whispered comment, every frame of that guy floating around behind her, became evidence. The whole time, my heart was doing that insane flutter where it feels like it's trying to fly out of your chest. But my hands? Perfectly still. There was this moment, maybe 10 minutes into the recording, where she forgot to mute herself while talking to him. She turned and hissed. "Stop, he might check in. He's been weird lately." Weird. Weird because I noticed my wife turning into a stranger? Weird because I cared? Then she said something that burned into my brain. "I just need him to give me one more month. Then I'll figure out the housing stuff." Housing. Housing. So not only was she cheating, she was already planning her exit strategy. The room tilted for a second. I grabbed the edge of my desk to steady myself. The recording kept going, and I kept watching, unable to look away from the slow-motion train wreck that was my marriage. At one point she laughed, actually laughed, at a joke he made about her coworkers. She sounded happy, happier than she'd sounded with me in months, maybe years. That part hurt more than the cheating itself. When the meeting finally ended, she turned her camera off and immediately crawled back into bed with him. I stopped the recording, closed the laptop, and just sat there in absolute silence, feeling like my entire life had been rewritten in real time. I didn't scream. I didn't cry. I didn't punch a wall or throw anything. Instead, something inside me clicked into place. I realized I wasn't just hurt. I was done. She'd shredded the marriage, but she didn't know I had the proof yet. And that meant I had time. Time to think. Time to plan. Time to decide exactly how the story was going to end. That afternoon, Maya finally texted me back. Not a call. Not a check-in. Just a text that read, "Long day. Sister's kids were wild. I'm exhausted." I just stared at the message. The confidence, the audacity. She had literally spent the morning cuddling her half-naked side piece in a bedroom I'd never seen before, and she was still trying to sell me the overwhelmed aunt babysitting routine. I typed back something neutral. "Hope you get some rest." My hands were steady again. Too steady. I think when you cross a certain threshold of hurt, everything inside you goes ice cold. You stop reacting and start calculating. 2 hours later she called me. Her tone was sharp, irritated, the usual when she's hiding something. "Maya, why didn't you answer earlier? I tried calling during lunch." Me? I didn't see any missed calls. Which was true, because she didn't call. She paused for a second, clearly realizing she'd already slipped. Then she doubled down. "Maya, well, my phone's been glitching. The Wi-Fi is terrible here." Funny how the Wi-Fi didn't glitch when she was on Zoom with her boyfriend behind her. She kept talking about work stress, about needing space, about how her sister's husband was so loud, and how the kids were driving her crazy. Every single sentence was a lie, layered over another lie, wrapped in one giant lie burrito. And I listened, quietly, patiently, not because I believed her, but because I wanted to hear exactly how far she would go to protect her fantasy life. At one point, she sighed dramatically and said, "Maya, I can't wait to come home. I miss you." I almost laughed. Instead, I said, "Me, yeah, I miss you too." But inside, something hollowed out. There are lies you expect. And then there are lies so bold they tell you the person speaking them stopped respecting you a long time ago. She wrapped up the call with a quick, distracted, "Love you." But it didn't sound like love. It sounded like obligation. When the call ended, I stared at the blank screen of my phone and felt something unexpected. Relief. Hearing her lies so confidently told me everything I needed to know. Not just that she cheated, but that she thought I was dumb enough never to figure it out. And that lit the fuse for what I planned next. After the phone call, I didn't rage or spiral. Instead, I did something incredibly mundane. I made a spreadsheet. Yeah, a literal spreadsheet titled Exit Strategy. Tabs included finances, joint accounts, whose name is on what happens to the car, what happens to the lease, lawyer referrals. Halfway through listing everything, I realized something. Maya had been preparing to leave me, while living in my house, using my insurance, burning my time and energy, and doing all of it while pretending to be overworked and emotionally drained. No, she wasn't going to walk away on her terms. But I wasn't going to scream or expose her like some messy TV drama either. I wanted her lies to collapse under their own weight. So the revenge plan started forming. First, The recording. The file was perfect, crystal clear, audio included, with her Zoom call in one half of the screen and her giggling at shirtless mystery man in the other. I trimmed nothing. I added nothing. The truth was damning enough. Second, access. Her company uses a shared internal drive for quarterly presentations. Maya had bragged about it before, how upper management checks every folder because they hate surprises. So naturally, I thought, let's give them a surprise. I opened the shared drive through her saved login. Right there, between Q2 budgets and Q2 forecasts, I created a new folder, Q2 surprises, and inside it, I uploaded the entire Zoom recording. I didn't add a description, didn't name the file anything dramatic, just a simple, plain title, Maya_remote_session, MP4-inch. Anyone glancing at the list would assume it was a work training clip, until they clicked it. Third, timing. I wasn't going to tell her yet. No confrontation. Not until the pieces were perfectly aligned. I wanted her to walk straight into the explosion she built for herself. At work, where she'd bragged for years about being irreplaceable and the backbone of her team. Let the backbone explain why there's a shirtless guy strolling around behind her during an official corporate meeting. And while the revenge gears turned, the emotional punch finally crept in. Because underneath the cold planning, my heart was quietly breaking. I kept asking myself, how long was she planning to replace me? How long had she checked out of our life while pretending to still be in it? How long was I just background noise? I didn't cry then, but I felt the pressure behind my eyes, that hot, humiliating weight of knowing the person you love chose someone else and didn't even care enough to hide it well. Still, the plan kept me steady. Hurt plus clarity plus purpose equals dangerous combination. And I wasn't done yet. The upload finished overnight. I didn't sleep much. I lay awake in bed replaying everything. Her voice, that smirk she gave him, the way she said, "I miss you," like it was a line from a script she barely cared to read. By morning, the file had been sitting in her company's shared drive for exactly 7 hours. I waited. Her daily stand-up was at 9 a.m. sharp. She told me this months ago when she got promoted. They did it over Zoom. Cameras on. Team-wide. Big deal. At 9:17 a.m., my phone buzzed. Maya, WTF did you do? No greeting. No hey. Just panic. I stared at the message for a few seconds, heart calm, hands still. I felt like I was outside my body, watching it all unfold like a movie where I already knew the ending. Another message came flying in. You need to delete that now. That wasn't supposed to. You don't understand what you've done. And that's when I knew the plan had worked. She opened the file. Or someone else did. Either way, they saw it. I didn't respond. At 9:23 a.m., she called. I let it ring. 9:26, voicemail. This is your wife. What the hell is wrong with you? We need to talk. You're overreacting. It's not what it looks like, okay? Just call me. I smiled. It's not what it looks like. The oldest line in the cheater's playbook. Except this time, it was exactly what it looked like. And more importantly, everyone else saw it too. By 10:15, her name vanished from the company's Slack sidebar. By noon, her LinkedIn title changed from Senior Workflow Strategist to Open to Work. By 2 p.m., she finally stopped calling. I didn't gloat. I didn't post about it. I just sat in the stillness of my apartment and let it all settle. She thought she was playing chess. Turns out, she brought checkers to a gunfight. And I hadn't even confronted her in person yet. But that part was coming. Oh, it was definitely coming. She came home that night. Not next week like she originally planned. Not after finishing up deadlines at her sister's place. She came bursting through the door at 6:41 p.m. like a hurricane, wearing fake guilt and overpriced sunglasses. We need to talk. I was sitting on the couch. Calm. Waiting. She dropped her bags with dramatic flair, marched over, and tried to go full damage control. Maya, you had no right to invade my privacy like that. Privacy. Privacy. I didn't even respond. I just tilted my head, gave her that quiet look, the kind that makes liars squirm. Maya, it was a mistake. A stupid one-time thing. I was lonely, okay? You've been so emotionally distant lately. There it was. The blame shift. Textbook. Suddenly, I was the villain for not being available enough, for not reading her mind, and fixing her feelings before she acted out with another man in someone else's bedroom. Maya, you embarrassed me. I could lose my job. Me? You already did. That shut her up. She blinked. Twice. then swallowed hard. Me. Again, you didn't just lie to me. You lied to them. On their dime. In front of a camera. With a man you're probably still texting right now. She looked like she wanted to deny it. Instead, she started crying. I don't mean real crying. I mean performative, dramatic, soap opera level weeping. The kind with no tears, but lots of gasps. You don't understand what I've been going through. I'm under so much pressure. I didn't mean to hurt you. That part made me laugh. Literally laugh. Me. You drew a map. You packed lingerie. You cleared a week. Don't insult both of us by calling that an accident. She froze. That was the moment she realized. I knew everything. The room got quiet. The act was over. No more fake sobbing. No more excuses. Just silence between two people who finally saw each other clearly. And I said the one thing she wasn't expecting. Me. I'm not angry anymore. I'm just done. And I meant it. After she left that night, stormed out with red eyes and no apology, I sat alone in the apartment that used to feel full. Her coffee mug was still in the sink. Her cardigan still hung on the back of the chair. The couch still smelled like her lavender perfume. But everything felt hollow. You don't just mourn the betrayal. You mourn the version of your life you thought was real. The shared memories. The inside jokes. The Saturday morning routines. All of it suddenly felt like watching reruns of a show that got canceled without warning. In the days that followed, she sent a flurry of messages. Can we please talk like adults? You're blowing this out of proportion. You're not innocent either, you know. That last one made me laugh out loud. Because no, I'm not perfect. I'm moody. I work long hours. I forget to put the laundry in the dryer. But I didn't crawl into bed with someone else and lie about it through a webcam. I ghosted her. Fully. Blocked her number. Removed her from Netflix. Split the bank accounts. The silence must have driven her insane. Because then came the mutual friends. People I hadn't heard from in months suddenly checking in like, hey, Maya's really hurting. Can't you two work it out? I told them. She didn't trip and fall into another man's bed. She booked it. Packed for it. Lied about it. Smiled through it. And to their credit, most of them backed off after that. But a few still tried to guilt trip me. That's when I learned, some people don't care about truth. They care about comfort. And my story made them uncomfortable. But I wasn't telling it for them. I was telling it for me. And the truth? The truth was the only thing I had left. I didn't chase her. Didn't beg for closure. Didn't scream at the sky asking why me. I just moved on. I changed the locks. Deleted our photos from social media. Started therapy, not because I was broken, but because I wanted to understand why I ignored the signs for so long. She emailed me once. Said she missed us. Said she wanted to start over. I never replied. Because we didn't exist anymore. She killed that version of us when she hit mute on Zoom and whispered to someone else. If you're reading this because your gut is telling you something's off in your relationship, trust it. People lie, but energy doesn't. I learned that betrayal doesn't always scream. Sometimes it shows up in a Zoom reflection. Sometimes it wears your wife's voice and says, I miss you, while another man sleeps in her bed. My advice: record the call. Save the receipts. Never let someone who's lying to your face make you feel crazy for asking questions. And when it all falls apart, don't fight to keep what was fake. Stand up, walk away, and drop your own kind of Q2 surprise.